Well, here in California, we had a what they call a 1,000-year storm. It really hit LA badly, but it did hit the San Francisco Bay Area. And our power was off for about 4.5 hours. And we watched some transformers explode when they tried to turn the power back on. Anyway, I think there was a current spike, or voltage spike, I guess, in the lines, and I think it took out this instrument. Now, when the power first turned off, I went and I turned off the 2 breakers that power up my garage, the laboratory part of it. I turned those off, and so I tried to protect things as much as I could. I don't see anything else that was damaged except for this thing. So let me show you it. So it turns on, and then if you try to change the voltage, nothing happens. It stays around 3 volts and nothing happens. This is the current knob, and so this I added this real nice 5-digit display down here. But you can see that turning the knob is doing nothing at all. When I first turned it on, this was completely dark. There wasn't even enough voltage inside to power this up. So there's something going on inside. I don't know what it is, but let's see if we can open it up. I think I have a schematic for this thing actually, or something reasonable. A lot of these are the same. Something reasonable. We should be able to take a look at maybe what's going on. All right, take the power cord off. Don't spill anything there. What kind of? Let's see if I can find a good size for these. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's take a look inside. Let you guys come down farther. Don't see anything obvious yet. That's okay. I was wondering if there's a mauve or something that maybe let loose. Yeah, there's a mauve down here. So that could be suspicious. If the mauve tried to do its job and died in the process, and now it's kind of holding things back. So that could be. I don't think that's it, though. I don't know why that would affect me not being able to change the voltage. Well, here's a 12-volt regulator. We could check to see if we're getting 12 volts out of that. It says 7812. And all right, let me check the 12 volts here. Yep, we're getting 12 volts there, so that's working okay. All right. Well, let's turn this on. There's a transistor here. It says emitter base collector, so let's see if we can't do a Can't do a diode check on that. That looks good, and that looks good. So that transistor is okay. There's a big bang transistor in the back, a 2N3055. Those never go bad. Maybe it's the microprocessor. That could be. Let's see, I think the micros, though, are just displays. I don't think they actually do any circuitry stuff. So, let's make sure we're getting some juice here. Here's a bridge rectifier and its associated capacitor. So let's pop that on for a second, see what he's doing. Oops. All right. I added this wire for raw voltage. I don't know why I did that, but I did. It's for that display up front, but it seems like it'd be an awful high voltage. But at the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. But let's give it some juice. Let's see if there's any voltage here. Let's see. Oh, that doesn't look good. That's only 8.2 volts, and that seems very, very low for that. Let's see if we can't find some other voltages here. Let's see, what's this ground? Maybe I get the schematic for this thing. Try to figure out what's going on. All right, so I figured out what was wrong with this thing. The relay died. Very strange. I haven't seen this before. So what does the relay do in this power supply? So the relay used to sit up here on top, but the replacement relay that I had in my junk bin was bigger, so I kind of suspended it from underneath. But it works just fine. It's a 12-volt relay, and it switches. So the symptom that I really had was that the unregulated voltage was too low. For some reason, it wasn't making unregulated voltages. It has separate power supplies to power up other things, so those all measured okay. But the unregulated grunt power wasn't there. So let's see here. This is a better schematic for the thing. So can you see this? All right, so this is the grunt power supply. This is that big capacitor right there that I was measuring, this one right there. And it goes through this bridge rectifier and it hooks to the transformer. But you see here that the transformer has two windings and it has a relay that selects one of the two windings. So the way these power supplies work is that if you're at low voltages, then it selects one of the windings. And if it's on the higher one, it selects the other winding. So I guess on low voltages, it selects the most windings. And then if it needs to bump up in voltage, that selects the other one. Well, I suspected that maybe the relay wasn't making good contact. And so I just tapped on it and I could get it to fluctuate. And so I figured, okay, well, let's put in a new relay. So let me show you, let's see what, I was using my scope just to look for ripple and stuff, so I'll put that back on. I'll put the scope on the unregulated supply, okay? I have this plugged in. And all right, so what we're seeing here is the unregulated supply. So when I turn it on, it goes up to about 20 volts. And I'm outputting 7.5 volts. So let me continue to move the voltage up. And then you see it go up there. So now it's at about 5, 10, 15, 18 volts. And so at low voltages, it selects one of the windings, and then you hear the relay click. It moves to the other one. So this wasn't working correctly. And now everything is good to go again. I have no idea how a power surge killed the relay, but it is what it is, and it's fixed, so I'm happy. Let's see here. Will this focus? There we go. Here's my little display at the bottom. These are great little displays. They're very, very accurate. And so it's the same as this display here, only with more digits. So that gets just tacked in. And we drill a hole in the front and then glue it on. If you can see it from the side here, it's just kind of glued onto the front. But from the front, you can't tell. You think it's all inset, right? Yeah, so it is working. It is working very good again. So I use this all the time. It's a real grunt little power supply, kind of cruddy, but I've modified it in a couple ways. One is that I put on this really, really nice monitor. These are only, less than 10 bucks or something. I put that on, so I don't have to bring out my voltmeter to measure the accuracy. This is very, very accurate to the last digit. So I can just glance up here. And I also replaced this knob with a 10 turn. So it had a 1 turn on it to begin with. So I can set it like if I want to hit exactly 3 volts, I can use that 10 turn pot, and I can really get it pretty close. Well, you get the idea. So anyway, it's all back up and running again, and happy camper. I did open it up, and there's nothing to see. There's no big burn mark. The contacts look clean. I don't know what killed it. Anyway, maybe the coil got damaged. I'm not sure.